Does the US government want to make driving safer, or is that just an excuse for kill switches? Welcome to America Uncovered, I'm Chris Chappell. Many of you may be wondering, how do I find the energy to keep making episodes week after week, year after year? The answer is coffee, lots of coffee. Specifically Days Coffee, the sponsor of today's episode. And it's not just any coffee, it has something no other coffee in America has, which I'll explain in a little bit. But people may not think about it, but modern cars are essentially smart devices, like your phone. And like your phone, the government would love to have its eyes and ears inside. That's why Representative Thomas Massie has been sounding the alarm on a law that could let the government put a kill switch in your car. That would essentially let the government remotely shut off your vehicle. The government already has made loads of laws that give them more power over your car, like forcing you to wear a seatbelt, even though everyone knows seatbelts have killed far more lives than they've saved. But it's getting more and more invasive. In 2019, the European Union passed a law requiring all new cars sold from May 2022 onward to include driver monitoring systems, things like intelligent speed assistance, alcohol interlock, driver drowsiness and attention warnings, and advanced driver distraction warnings. Advanced driver distraction warnings. So the car has a distracting warning in place to alert drivers that they're distracted. I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not wanting to be left in the dust, the Biden administration decided to follow Europe's lead. Buried in Biden's 1,000-plus page Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021, around the 400th page, is this section, Advanced Impaired Driving Technology. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has to develop rules that would require car makers to add new tech to stop impaired driving. They have 2 to 3 years to figure out the rules and another couple of years before cars will be sold with this tech. Now, this part of the Infrastructure Act is known as the Halt Drunk Driving Act. Yes, it's one of those forced acronym laws. It says that the technology needs to keep an eye on how you drive to see if you're impaired in any way. And if it detects you are, it's supposed to prevent or limit your driving. I'll just let that sink in for a moment. Now, this has been law since 2021, but it's coming to people's attention again, and people have a lot to say about it. Many fear that impaired driving technology in the name of countering drunk driving is actually just a new level of state-sponsored surveillance in disguise. Or more than just surveillance, with bureaucrats and authorities soon capable of clicking and swiping from afar to strand you, all in the name of preventing drunk driving. Post a questionable meme, the government won't let you turn on your car. Others say this is the power the government wants over you. Not to be outdone, Fox News went so far as to claim the mandatory technology is a tool for election interference.
I can't wait for the federal government to stop me from driving, steal my biometrics, and monitor my car conversations. That's funny, they hit the kill switch on every pickup truck in Pennsylvania on Election Day. Oops, sorry about that, human error.
Gotta love Fox News for making whatever's trending all about election interference. Yet others, like former Representative Bob Barr, warned that the infrastructure bill contains a backdoor kill switch for cars. Because of these fears, Representative Thomas Massie introduced a bill to defund these so-called kill switches. But Congress shot it down. There was a backlash against Massie's bill from groups like Mothers Against Drunk Driving, who accused the bill's supporters of voting in favor of drunk driving. And the author of the Halt Drunk Driving Act, Representative Debbie Dingell, bashed Massie's amendment for getting in the way of driver safety.
We need to stop drunk driving by making impairment prevention technology standard in new vehicles. And if the technology exists to prevent drunk driving, why wouldn't we consider it? It does not mandate kill switches or allow data collection that invades vehicle occupants' privacy. It's ridiculous, and it doesn't monitor how you drive. This amendment is an insult to every American who's been hurt or lost loved ones to drunk driving.
Wait. Impaired driving technology doesn't collect invasive private data or monitor how people drive. I wonder how that works, because as far as I can tell, technology that determines whether you're fit enough to drive or not definitely requires some sort of data collection and monitoring. In fact, by law, the technology is supposed to monitor. So monitoring isn't monitoring. And 2 + 2 = 5. Got it. Now that Massie's amendment has failed, people are sounding the alarm that we've surrendered to our tech overlords. To which I say, too late. We already surrendered to our tech overlords. We did that the moment we thought keeping TikTok was the right thing to do. But our fears of car kill switches and government control overblown. I'll get to that in a moment, but first, let's take a quick coffee break. Now, what kind of coffee am I drinking? Why, of course, it's Dave's coffee. And I want to tell you why I love this particular coffee so much. For one, it has very low acidity compared to most coffees. That makes it taste a lot better. It's not bitter like most coffees, and it's gentle on my tummy. And it only has 15% of the caffeine of regular coffee. And that's a good thing for reducing caffeine dependency, and I can also enjoy multiple cups of coffee a day. It's just the right amount of kick I need without jitters or a caffeine crash. How does Days make this special coffee? Well, first, they collect only premium grade coffee beans from Colombia, Guatemala, Brazil, and Ethiopia. Then they treat the beans with 50 enzymes and ferment them. It's a patented process developed by a former cancer researcher at Yale Medical School, along with a team of South Korean scientists. Another great thing about their fermentation process is that it completely gets rid of mycotoxins. Those are toxins produced by mold and fungi you might find in some cheaper brands of coffee bean. But you won't find them in Days coffee, so believe me, Days coffee is very, very good. It's got notes of dark chocolate, butterscotch, brown sugar, and nuttiness. The beans are roasted in New York's Hudson Valley. So when you order Days coffee using my link below, you'll get a special discount. And once you order, they'll roast it right before they ship it to you, so it's just about as fresh as you can get by mail. So click below to try it out. And now on with the show. So you might have been hearing about these kill switches, but fact checkers are there to say social media posts about car kill switches are distorting the law's rule on impaired driving technology. In fact, they argue that there's no vehicle kill switch. But, as usual, their arguments are extremely literal. Verify This points out that the Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act doesn't include any language about a kill switch that police and the federal government can access to stop your vehicle. Snopes, likewise, says there is currently no mention of a kill switch that law enforcement could use to shut your car off. Oh, well, the law doesn't specifically say anything about a kill switch, so everything's good. That's a load off my mind. There's more. Fact checkers specifically dispute claims that law enforcement or the government would have direct access to control cars, citing people involved in the development of driver safety technology, like Johns Hopkins University researcher Jeffrey Michael and Robert Strausberger, CEO of the Automotive Coalition for Traffic Safety. PolitiFact says that in-vehicle technology is coming to stop impaired drivers, but it does not involve law enforcement. Likewise, USA Today argues that the law does not direct a kill switch to be implemented in cars, nor does it give any third parties, including law enforcement or government officials, access to the in-vehicle technology. Rather, it simply directs a federal agency to require technology that would detect driver impairment and disable the vehicle in that scenario. Phew, I was worried for a second. But wait, isn't disabling vehicles the very definition of acting as a kill switch? War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. According to fact checkers, kill switch is a term that gives the wrong idea. AP News cites Strausberger saying that the term kill switch is hyperbole, since none of the options being considered would include the risky move of lurching a fast-moving vehicle to an abrupt stop. I don't think abrupt stops are the only things people are concerned about. They're concerned about the idea the government could control them regardless of whether they're drunk or not. But there is a grain of truth in what they're saying. There's no evidence that Biden's infrastructure law explicitly calls for direct government access to people's cars. The law requires technology that passively monitors drivers. In other words, Biden wants car companies to automate surveillance to prevent impaired driving. And if anyone knows what being impaired looks like, it's Biden himself. Given that impaired driver monitoring would be automated, fact checkers would have people not worry about car kill switches. But there are legitimate concerns. On the practical side, critics raise important questions about how well the technology can accurately detect whether one is impaired or not. If it's judging you based on your driving behavior, how will it distinguish drunk driving from simply swerving to avoid road obstacles or driving differently due to severe weather? Many questions remain unanswered. And it's hard to say how reliable this tech could be when we still don't have AI that can consistently make good-looking hands. Meanwhile, some are afraid that even if the government can't directly access car systems, it's a slippery slope that can lead to civil liberty infringements. And if there's anything that we can learn from history, it's that the government isn't shy about expanding its power wherever it can. Look no further than the Patriot Act. Or more recently, look at the world government's COVID response. Also, cars are already monitoring drivers. Car companies are already implementing cameras and algorithms that help monitor drivers. Volvo announced that it would fit in-car cameras and sensors as standard. And Tesla has recently developed a driver drowsiness warning system. They can't quite make self-driving cars yet, so they'll just make cars that badger people into being better drivers. It's the perfect plan. What could go wrong? Some say your car spying on you is a good thing, just like they tried to tell you inflation would help everyday Americans. But even if the technology works without hiccups, and the government doesn't get power hungry, there's still security concerns, especially when it comes to criminals accessing private data. As much as governments and corporations want to assure us that our driver data would be safe, recent car company hacks don't exactly give much peace of mind. So try to avoid doing anything in the car Big Brother or Grandma wouldn't approve of. If you want to learn more about the security risks of newer cars, you can learn more about what China is doing to your cars from my other channel, China Uncensored. And honk on that orange button to support America Uncovered on Patreon. We can't make this show without you. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.